Hi there, and hello and howdy to all my piglets. How are you today? This is Sheila. Welcome to the Painted Pig Studio for part 2 of beginner junk journaling, basically. So what we're going to go over are the vocabulary words that you will hear and what they mean as far as junk journaling goes. So first is pocket. Now this is a pretty giant pocket. Most of them are not this big. But this was made from a magazine page. And then the tag, I think this is a digital, which you will also hear. And it's backed with cream-colored paper and stitched around. So any size of this is considered a pocket. And normally they are, if I can find an example, this would be an example, and so would these. Normally they are glued down to the page of your journal, okay? And then that also covers the tag. A tag can be many sizes. Usually you're going to need your tag to fit your pocket. So whatever size your pocket is the size you want your tag. And these are all examples of tags. This is actually from a Tim Holtz ephemera pack, which you can use as a narrow tag if you wish. This is from Book Page Collage and stamped. And this is one that, well, actually, this is going into journaling cards, so excuse me. I was trying to get ahead of myself. So, and a tag can also be very small as well. And I think they're cute when they're small like that. And you would use them to embellish. Okay. All right. Journaling cards. I was trying to get ahead of myself with that. These are what I consider journaling cards. Now, this is packaging, but it could be made into a journaling card. Just put some paper on the back, or even this could be written on, around the corners maybe. Put a ribbon on it or not. Embellish it a little bit more, put a label, whatever. And this could also be embellished on the front and used to journal on the back. Here's one that's already been done, and except for the journaling paper on the back. So that can be added, and this can be used for a journaling card. This is one of Tim Holtz, I believe. So is this. Just plain on the back so you can write on them. Okay, a tuck. A tuck might be something that you would put a journaling card into, for instance. So, and let me find an example. This would be corner tucks right here. This is a tuck spot. In this case, a tag is in there. But you could also put a journaling card in there. Just totally up to you. And this tag actually has a pocket on the front of it with a couple of small cards for journaling. I mean, there really are no rules in junk journaling. So, I think that's why it's so fun. Okay, a belly band is a term you will also hear. I don't know if I've got one in this. We'll see. No. Okay, so a belly band can be vertical or it can be horizontal. So let's say this is your page. A vertical belly band would be like this, and you would tuck something under it. A tag, a journaling card, an envelope, whatever your heart desires. And then, of course, horizontal one would be like this. And this would be embellished and decorated and made really pretty. And you can put pockets on them. You can put tucks on them. I mean, it's endless how creative you can get with these. A flip out. I don't know if I've got an example of that. I'll have to go to the Betty for that. And a flip out would be something such as this. It would be connected to an existing page in some way, some form or fashion. In this case, there is a pocket. It's connected underneath the pocket, and it flips out. It's an envelope that holds little journaling cards. And this, of course, is a big tag. And this is a journaling card in a pocket. So you're kind of getting the gist here, I hope. And a signature. Okay, this right here has not been sewn into. So this is the signature of a journal. And it's a collection of pages or items that will be sewn into a journal. And not necessarily sewn. In Traveler's Notebook, which I also consider a junk journal, a lot of times there is just an elastic band that you run them under, and it holds down the middle of the signature for you. So this is to be bound into your journal in some form or fashion. And it doesn't, I mean, it's up to you how many you want to put in the journal, how big the spine is, plays a part in that, different things. Okay, and binding. The binding can be visible, which is the sewing of this, where the signatures are sewn into the journal. I don't know if you can see, but this was visible until I put the lace over it. I sewed my signatures in, leaving the thread on the outside of the spine showing. Okay, and then this is an example of a floating spine where what the signatures are sewn onto is not glued into the journal, glued into the spine. It is glued into the journal, but it's sewn onto fabric, which is then sewn into the journal, or glued. And this is the one I'm working on now, the rose, and I don't know if you can see through the pressing seal, but I'm trying to keep it very clean. These signatures have been sewn in, and it's a hidden spine. The signatures were sewn onto a separate piece of fabric and then glued into the spine. Whoop. Okay. Now let's move on. Now you can also, binding can also be ring bound or spiral bound or glued or elastic, as I mentioned. An altered book, I've not done one. This is as close as I've got to an altered book. And this was an existing book I had that I went to make an ephemera folder journal out of. And that's coming out. So these were existing pages that I glued several together, and then I cut several out. And then I glued several together, and then cut several out to leave room for what I was going to put in here. And then I just glued vellum down. So I didn't make an ephemera journal like you might see some others have. I just altered this book to hold my ephemera, which in this case are labels, tickets. It's mostly labels because this is my label book. And then I have another for butterflies and birds. So, and that's just to try to keep organized. So, and this So you saw one example of ephemera, or a couple examples of ephemera. This would also be considered ephemera. It's anything used to decorate a page, a tag, a card, a pocket. Any of those bits and pieces that are used to decorate. Okay? It's to decorate anything. Page, pocket, or anything. Collage, you will hear that word a lot. Let me get rid of some of these. Did we go over tuck? This is a tuck. Can't remember. It's on my list, but I don't remember talking about it. So you put a tag or a journaling card. Yeah, maybe we did. Okay, and a collage. This is an example of a collage on a tag. And it's just, and here's an example as well on some cardstock. It's a collection of papers. In this case, it was book text, music, yeah, and that's shorthand from a book. And it was all glued to make something totally different. Bits and pieces of it were glued onto something else to form cohesive, not even cohesive, but to form something other than what it started out being. Does that make sense? Maybe not. Maybe it's self-explanatory, hopefully. Altered or hidden paperclip. This is my second time doing this video. The first one I put up, and the middle of it, you could hear me talking, and you could see this, but you could see nothing else I was doing. I don't know how that happened. I wish I did. But, I mean, I had edited it. I had watched it a couple of times, edited it, put it up. Don't know how that just disappeared off the video. It's weird. So here's some of my altered paper clips, or hidden paper clips. And so this started out life as a paper clip. There's a paper clip in the middle there, but you can't see it. It's hidden. So, and there are videos that can show you how to do that. And as a matter of fact, I think I've got one out there that shows you how to do that. This would be an example of what I would say is an altered paper clip, because it's got a paper clip on the back, and it would just fit onto the page like that. And this as well is an altered paper clip, so you can use it to clip something onto your page. They're lots of fun. Okay, and tab. A tab, I'm sure you pretty much got the gist of what a tab is, but it would go on the edge of your page, or the edge of a tag, or a journaling card, something that you would want to pull out, or something that you would want to mark a section. I mean, you know what a tab is. So, and they can be homemade, and they don't have to be any particular shape. Not in my world, anyway. I did the Betty journal with round tabs. And I made a dangle to go on each one. Okay? And then cluster. This would be a cluster. A scrap cluster, as a matter of fact. This I would consider a cluster. These are little round clusters. And even on this paper clip, I would consider that a cluster. Okay? Now, snippet. You will hear that term. And a snippet can be either paper or fabric. In this case, I have used a burlap and lace ribbon to, actually I glued, then sewed fabric onto it, and then enhanced it with little flowers and bows and different things like that too. And what you would use this for, you could put it on the side of your page like that. You could cut it into smaller pieces and use it. You could use it to decorate a tag. So there's many uses for a snippet. They're fun. And they're fun to make and use up your scraps doing it. Either your scraps of fabric or your scraps of paper. Okay, and closure. You will hear closure. And for instance, on the Betty, this is her closure. And it's elastic. I've punched a hole and put an eyelet through and just use an elastic hairband to knot it through, and then goes right over that button to close the journal. Okay. This would also be a closure method. Can glue your ribbon in there, and you can tie a journal together for a method of closing it. Okay, so you might also hear the term scoreboard. Well, you don't need to go out and buy one of the fancy scoreboards. If you feel like you make a lot of cards or need something to aid you when you are folding cardstock, then there are small ones you could start out with. It is totally up to you, but if you don't have one, get your Dollar Tree ruler, place it where you're going to want to fold that cardstock. Now you can get these now at the Dollar Tree. I saw these, and it's a stylus, or in this case it's a nail stylus, but you could use, and I think I'm going to use this in, to run along that ruler there, and what it does, it causes the fibers of the paper to loosen up and gives you a little valley there. You see? The little valley going along there. So there's a groove now in the paper. And so that means it's going to be easier to fold, less likely to crack on you. And there you have it. And one more term, well, actually there's two more, but one term you'll hear is bone folder. This is a bone folder, and that's what it is meant to do. It's meant to press down those folds and make them sharper and crisper and flatter. But guess what? The side of your scissors will do the exact same thing. So when you're starting out, that would be one economical way of cutting corners and saving some money, is just go with your scissors. And like I said, you can get one of these for $1 now, at least at the Dollar Tree that I went to. And last but not least, good old washi. Washi is a removable, in most cases, thin paper tape. And usually it peels up off of paper. Now you can use your glue stick to make it more permanent, or any other kind of glue, I would say. But usually it just peels up pretty easy. So keep that in mind, but it serves many different purposes. And also, guess what? An economical. Now you can get those on sale at Michael's. You can get them at the Dollar Tree, even. But you can also, if you have this around the house, this is medical tape. This is paper tape, and you can make your own stamps with the little pieces of foam you can get it at the Dollar Tree, and you can stamp and make your own washi. You could paint it, or ink it, or spray it, any way you want to decorate it. I imagine you could even collage on it. And so in this case, I will show you an example of what I did. I just stamped it. So now, this, in effect, is homemade washi tape. It's a little bit stickier than washi, but if you wanted it to be removable, you just do the old trick of putting it on your arm, just to make it a little less tacky. Okay, so I think that covers everything I could think of. Feel free, all you seasoned crafters out there, seasoned junk journalers, to add anything I may have missed. Please feel free to post questions in the comments below. I will do my best to answer or explain or clear up anything that I have said during this time. So we're trying this again. I've got some new editing software, so I'm really hopeful that this video will work. I don't want to do it again. So guys, thanks for joining me. And as usual, stay well, take care, and hugs and kisses until we meet again. Bye-bye.